You went in December 2015.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. For routine operation, this was have your jaw realigned to correct an overbite. And it was your husband that first noticed that your accent had changed.
Yes. After waking up from surgery, I had asked him if he could hand me my cellular phone. I wanted to text my sister and let her know that I was okay and out of surgery. And that's when he first noticed. And then as I kept talking to him throughout the day, he's like, "Lisa, you're kind of talking funny." And I said, "Well, they told you I was going to talk funny after surgery, like you might not understand me." He's like, "No, you're talking funny." And he really wasn't explaining too much about an accent. He just said I sounded different. So I just thought it was part of like the swelling from the surgery and that, you know, he wasn't understanding what I was saying. So I just kept repeating myself over and over.
Kayla, what do you think?
At first, I thought she was joking with me. Like, I didn't think she was serious, but then after a while, her doctor told me, and I knew that she wasn't joking because she wouldn't have been joking with me for that long. And then, well, like now I'm used to her accent, and I kind of like it now.
Well, we're picking all sorts of different bits.
There's a bit of Australian in there.
A little bit of Yorkshire, a little bit of Brummie, Birmingham. So there's all sorts of different bits of accent, and you have no idea why that would happen because, as we said in the introduction, I mean, you don't watch British TV. You've never been to Britain.
No, never.
That's like it is like that was Australian.
I know that was kind of
Australian. We've got some footage of your old accent. So let's just run this in. This is what you did sound like.
We just want you to know how blessed we are to have you guys as our pastors, not only to lead us and guide us, but you guys have inspired us and befriended us, and we love you.
Does it feel weird when you hear your old accent?
No, I actually hear it on a daily basis. Whenever I'm not speaking out loud and I'm thinking to myself in my mind, I hear my old voice. And in my dreams, I hear my old voice. So although friends and family sometimes tell me, I don't even remember what you would sound like before, I tell them, oh, well, I get to hear it every day. So it's hard for me to understand that they forget it because I get to hear it every day still.
And for you, I mean, you're used to it now, but initially when you first started to speak like this, you sort of drew into yourself a bit and were very self-conscious.
Yes, I mean, when I first started listening for it, you know, I didn't hear it at first, but once my husband and my sister let me know, like, you're kind of talking with an accent, I started listening for it, and as I started hearing it, I started to see myself talking less and less. I got really self-conscious about it, and at first the doctors told me it was going to go away. It was part of the healing process, and that once the swelling and numbness went away, that the accent would just go away. And then a couple of days later, when they told me, no, I think it's actually an abnormality, I'm going to send you back to your doctor. And once they told me it wasn't normal, that's when I started to feel kind of I started going through a depression stage. I asked my husband, like, why is this happening to me? Is it ever going to go away? I didn't understand. And it wasn't until I got the diagnosis of foreign accent syndrome that I started to be able to Google it and ask my doctor about it and get an understanding of it. Although I did have a diagnosis, I still wasn't okay with it. It's not the accent I wasn't okay with. I just felt like I wasn't myself. And then I was kind of fearful about how other people were going to react to me.
And Dr. Rangers is here right now. What the hell is this?
So it's quite dramatic, isn't it, when you listen to her old accent and what she sounds like now. So it's a fascinating condition. It is very, very rare. Only first described in 1907. There's been 100 or so cases in the literature, but it has been described. It's probably not quite as fascinating as people might think. Basically what happens is sufferers of this condition developed sometimes quite sudden change in the way they speak, and the people that are listening to them perceive them as speaking in a particular accent. So listening to her there, Lisa, sorry, you get twangs of Australian, possibly South African, a little bit of a New Zealand Kiwi thing going on, a bit of a Scouse thing possibly as well. And the reason is that it's very much in the ear of the beholder as well as to how you relate it. But essentially, whatever the underlying cause might be, the way you create your speech and words changes, and that's how accents work anyway. In some cases, they don't find a reason at all. You either learn to live with it through speech therapy. Some people need counselling because it changes the way you think about yourself, because your voice is your voice is very much who you are. And for some people, if you can reverse the underlying cause, you can therefore then get your accent back. But it's likely to be a lifelong thing.
But some people, Lisa, just think you're joking. They think you're faking it.
Oh, a lot of people think I'm faking it, which is why I was never wanting to go public. You know, when it first started and I went through those first, like, 2 months of just depression, I didn't even want to go around people I knew. I mean, I was scared to just talk to my family, my friends, my church family. And it wasn't until I felt the acceptance from them and they said, hey, we know who you are, we know you're not lying, that I actually started feeling comfortable talking to other people. Now, going public was completely different. When my doctor first talked to me about it, I said, you know, I kind of just want to keep it to myself and keep it to the ones that are close to me. But Methodist Hospital ended up doing a story that was picked up by the media later on. And so now I am getting a lot of people saying, oh, she's faking it. But to be honest, I mean, I think it will be kind of exhausting to fake something like this, to wake up and go to bed having to talk in an accent all the time, 24/7. I mean, you figured it would break at some point. I honestly don't think this is something that could be faked for 6 months. No. It would be just exhausting to have to try to keep up with something that wasn't real. It just comes naturally to me. I mean, my mind thinks something and my mouth speaks it. So for people who do say it's fake, I would just tell them to just try to be open-minded and accept something that's so rare that, you know, it might not be understandable, but it is there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Extraordinary story. Thank you so much.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
You wouldn't give up this lifestyle unless it was a matter of life and death, but it kind of is, isn't it? That is what it is.
It can. I think, I mean, you know, with the growth hormone, there are people that inject up to 10 IUs a day. I inject 1 IU a day, which is such a small amount. I know there's obviously things where I don't necessarily know where it's coming from, what's in it. I'm aware of all that, but there are so many dangers in everyday life. I could walk out of this studio and get knocked down by a bus. That is the risk you take.